the Capello Index. He's continued
he
that.
had one for the Premier League, but then one for Europe, and Noble's in both of them.
He deserves an England squad call-up. I think just one cap would be enough for Noble. He's not an international player, but he deserves the recognition for what he's done.
He's better than Huddleston, I'd say. He's better than Huddleston. Except for dead balls.
As an all-round player, he's better than Huddleston. Huddleston's got certain attributes that are better than Noble. But the whole Mark Noble becoming a really crucial player for us this year is another big slice of pie that I've had to eat, because I honestly thought that he was a fundamentally 6 out of 10 player who's kind of 6 out of 10 at everything, and this year he really has stepped up. And
he's had to reinvent himself a lot of times, hasn't he? What he's added to his whole game is a Scott Parker type tackling sort of thing that he never used to have to do. He was seen as a flair player, he
was the attacking midfielder.
He was seen as
now he's the defensive midfielder. Diarmé, I thought he was going to be defensive midfielder, but Diarmé just came in with his own ideas.
Yeah, that's
about
right.
No, that's not what I'm going to do. So you better stay there because I'm going off up there. And so Noble's kind of struggling. All right, I'll just sit here then.
But actually, they're really good together. Diarmé and Noble are really, really good together. I think it wasn't actually that Noble just sat in the same place, because Diarmé just did so much of his acting that actually he quite often freed up Noble down.
They both swarm is what they do. And that's what's great. I remember we briefly for about a month under Zola had the best midfield I'd ever seen, where we had like Collison, maybe Parker and Barami, and for 1 month we looked like the best team I'd ever seen.
West Ham,
but they swarmed over other teams. So when we lost the ball, there was the other team couldn't breathe. We were
Barami had that fantastic engine, didn't he?
Yeah.
He just sort of kept going all game, and absolutely, the other team just couldn't,
And there's a bit of that about Noble and Diarmé when they're having a good day, where they're just so mobile and all over the place,
And it's Noble upping his game as well. Like, I think he's a perfect example of a footballer, a la David Beckham actually, who you hear him interviewed and he can barely string a sentence together, but he's actually a really intelligent footballer.
Yeah,
he adapts. He adapts.
It's left brain, right brain.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
That's
something like that. Up brain, down brain, something like that.
Yeah. He's been playing a long time now. He's had a sort of a long career.
He's a veteran for West Ham, isn't he?
And he's still 26 or something. We've got to wrap this up. I think we've been probably going. Should we just do quick predictions for QPR?
I think we're going to win 2-1.
2-1. Yeah,
I think a draw. Sadly, I think.
Allardyce do look good.
Allardyce pumping them up, combined with QPR being on a run, means a draw. I think.
Yeah. I'm going to say win. I'm going to say 1-0 to us.
James Nolan.
Yeah, Nolan.
Sort of just kind of bullied the ball over the goal. Shouts at the ball. Shouts at the ball and a couple of timid looking defenders, and the ball just kind of trickles over apologetically.
Phil Jupitus used to talk about it was either Morley or Allen's goals as chatty goals.
Chatty goals?
Yes. Phil used to go, it's one of those chatty goals.
Well, because it's kind of not one thing on the other. It just somehow, without you noticing, it ends up just over 1 yard over the line.
I love that though, chatty goal.
Chatty goal.
That's a chatty goal.
There's Nolan's thuggish goals.
Yeah. Well, he's he's never more than about sort of 2 yards from the goal.
I like it when a ball kind of bounces around a lot and he hurls his whole enormous frame at it. And bounces off a strange part of his body.
And then somewhat beautifully, he follows that up with the chicken dance.
The chicken dance.
It's a perfect package.
Yeah. He pops up the right place though. He does. Good old Uncle Kev. Alright, well that's it for Stop Hammer Time this week. I've been joined by Benji Lanyardo.
Good night.
And Sam Delaney.
Good night.
Come on, you Irons.
This is a Playback Media production. Get all the associated links for this podcast at westhampodcast.com.
Hello and welcome to Stop Hammer Time. My name's Phil Williams and joining me this week are Mark Webster.
It's my middle name.
And Sam Delaney.
But I don't get a middle name.
Sam Allison Delaney.
Excellent. Good guess.
And
I had a conversation. I've got a new email address at the job I'm doing, and it's Martin.Webster, and I said that's which is weird because that is my middle name. My mother had the foresight all those years ago
Dorothy.
to foresee the revolution that would happen in technology.
It was a long time before I realised that there weren't a lot of people whose middle name was underscore. It's a rather lovely name.
Underscore's
You
a
thought it
rather
was a
posh name. isn't it?
Philip underscore Wheelers.
Actually, that sounds like a hyphenated name, rather than a middle name. Yeah.
Are the underscore Davidsons coming around this evening, darling? I do so hate them. Now we're going to be talking about. I wasn't supposed to be presenting the podcast this evening. I've got a gig tonight. I've got a gig down in South London. So we're going to knock this podcast.
So basically, what you're getting is a right fast.
Have the communist vegans at the BBC destroyed your faith in humanity? Are you worried that watching too much football has made you racist? Why not take your mind off of society's ills by getting some culture? The Football Ramble have teamed up with audible.co.uk to bring you an audiobook of your choice for free. Sign up for a free 1-month trial with no obligation to continue and claim your audiobook now by visiting audible.co.uk/footballramble.
It's the Football Ramble, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Marcus and I've got Jim with me.
Hello.
Pete.
Brian's got a tie and I haven't got one.
And Luke.
Go fuck yourself.
It's an early one.
It's an early one.
Oh,
An early contender for Go Fuck Yourself of the season.
Parents, and they know what they're listening to now. Right, okay. Did you hear that Lazio defender Luciano Zauri rescued a girl from a well? She fell into a well.
Okay. She was a child as well. Not just any girl, it was like a 7-year-old girl. Wasn't she the
Granddaughter.
of the head of the Polish FA?
Yeah, Boniek, famous Polish footballer. Yeah, it's good. Quite a talent.
It was a restaurant in Rome. I was quite intrigued. She fell into the 4-metre deep well when the beam covering it gave way.
Some of the best restaurants do have wells with beams covering them.
I've never been to a restaurant containing a well. That may say more about me than the restaurant business.
And I've been to the Rainforest Cafe.
Yeah.
Just a beam covering a 4-metre.
Yeah.
How old is the restaurant? If it's been there for like hundreds and hundreds
That would
of years.
never happen. Are you going to cover that up? Most football beat. No, cover it up.
It's a natural feature. It's grade 2 listed.
To be fair, what is she doing on a beam?
Yeah.
If it's just a beam covering a well.
You maybe have to walk across the well.
I blame the
I
parents.
strongly doubt that.
Yeah,
This would have
that is
happened
not.
before.
That is not.
Unless it does happen all the time.
Is it?
Even the well's in the bloody restaurant.
Get to the question.
Well, I would like to ask you, who would you like to save you, rescue you from a well? If you fell down one, Jim.
I fell down a well, and I'm
Obviously.
quite clumsy, so this could happen. So if I ever fell down a well and I was stranded and a footballer had to rescue me, as logic would follow, I would choose Robin van Persie, right, and then as soon as I got out of the well, I would kick him down the well and pull up the rope and leave him behind like he left me behind.
I can't even cane him for that. It's,
An emotional
he meant
It's a
it.
broken man.
The listeners cannot see into Jim Campbell's eyes. They can't question it.
And he'd get down there and he'd shout, he's going, hang on, this isn't well water, these are tears.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, what you
I'd have
could
had
do-
to build the well for my own tears. I wouldn't have even got stuck in it. It would have
Yeah.
just built up
Well,
around
Jim,
me.
I was going to suggest what you could do is to request seeing Robin van Persie when he poked his treacherous head over the parapet.
His tread.
Your tears could fill you up and
Yeah.
float you to the top of the world.
Yeah.
That would work.
And then I'll throw him in.
It's a lot more poetic. Then you could drown him in your own tears. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Telegraphed by Luke Moore about 5 seconds ago, I would go for Sven because he is good with well.
I didn't know you were going to say that. Sorry about that.
It's quite right. It's quite right, Luke.
I'm quite a heavy man. So I
hope you've enjoyed the Football Ramble this week.
So I would need
Fact of the week.
strong, dependable types. I'd probably go for a combination of Nigel de Jong and Mark van Bommel as a dream team. They could
Construct a grin.
could maybe karate kick me up to the top. like a Streets of Rage style computer game. Yeah. I just thought that Streets of Rage bit off the top of my head, so I didn't really work. But yeah, someone strong. Not like I would never go for a sort of a striker like a Jermaine Defoe who would always sort of let you down. I'd always go for strong, robust defensive midfield players.
Defoe would keep trying sort of really extravagant ways to do it.
And refusing help.
Yeah.
For people to help him.
What about, I can't believe I've forgotten his name, the Northampton town big lad.
Oh, no, you mean Akinfenwa?
Akinfenwa.
Yeah, not bad. He gets stuck in
He
it.
just pulled the actual well up.
He pulled the world down.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah, he pulled the earth down.
I was thinking maybe Stuart McCall, Motherwell, the well. That's something he was pretty used to.
Remember when he got pissed and fell off that car?
Yeah.
Do you want him getting you out of a well?
Yeah, a licensed restaurant. Oh yeah, that's a minefield.
Yeah, exactly.
He's used to and familiar with the well.
Yeah.
Or Alexis Sanchez, being Chilean.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like a little tube.
On that vibe though, isn't he more likely to get stuck down there with you?
Yeah.
No, they've learned the lesson in Chile. They're on the road and they've come up with drill
I
these
actually
things.
saw a guy on the tube in London dressed as a miner in one of those, in that rocket pod that they rescued him. He had two biffa bins, one upside down on top of him with a visor thing. He had the sunglasses on the other wall and people wheeling him around the other bit.
That's a very comprehensive. To be honest, would he not lose his deposit for that bit of it?
Oh well, it's worth it.
His refuse is not getting collected.
The joy that filled my heart is worth it.
How did you make the connection though? It's just a man in a bin.
No, because he had it painted on the side. I forget the name of it.
I'm a Chilean miner.
He had the name of the rescue captain painted on the side.
Right,
I forget what it was.
Tubey.
I'm surprised you've given yourself the points there because you've overridden Sven in something. That must be really hard for you to do.
Yeah.
So you've hit him out.
I'm not surprised because you're a corrupt cunt.
You're the blast.
Let's just see.
What I like about
that's
it-
unnecessary.
Sorry, apologies everyone.
Luke started his new job and he's got to get all the swears out somehow. Foul man.
You say new job, we just kept him on for a bit longer.
Doing the snow.
Yeah.
He's on a 1 year extension.
He's cleared the driveway. Let's go to the Premier League, where Arsenal got no points at Stamford Bridge, Jim. They're 7 points off fourth spot with the game in hand.
They are.
Better second half, but not quite
Well,
enough.
this has been the problem lately, isn't it? The last 3 games, you could say that Arsenal basically haven't woken up
Problems.
to the second. Haven't woken up to the second half. If you play like that, you are effectively giving the opposition a head start. If you're just sort of going to wander around in a doze for the first 45 minutes. And, Wenger pointed to the foul on Coquelin in the build-up to Juan Mata's goal, but you've got to play to the whistle. Even if that had been hadn't been a foul, it's the same passage of play could well have happened. And the team switched up. I think Chesney should have done better with that as well. It's just
I think Arsenal, there was something in the game for Arsenal. They had a little bit of a harder centre. I mean, they're such a soft centre team. They seem so fragile.
I don't know whether it's down to them being soft, because these are all athletes that are surely capable of getting stuck in. I think it's a lack of application. There seems to be so little sort of actual motivation there.
What's the issue with Ramsey, by the way?
He's involved been indifferent for a long time, so the crowd's always back. He's been playing out of position to be fair. He's been playing on the left, which is a really unnatural position for a player like Ramsey, so I don't really understand that.
I thought Ramirez terrorised him in that game. I wondered, I'm not seeing enough. When Ramsey first came back from his injury,